Hey everybody, it's your girl Claudia. Jordan, it's Friday night, and we are back with another episode of TGIF with two of the most fabulous men in the entertainment business. Now we're here to spill the tea and break down some of the biggest headlines in the news and on social media. So sit back, relax, and get ready for this hot tea. Fellas, what's up? Let me introduce Al Reynolds. What's up, Al?
What's going on, Claudia?
We're not drinking this evening. Are we not drinking?
I got a little absinthe here that I'm thinking about drinking, but I haven't got the courage to do it yet. How about you? Where are you still filming your movie?
I'm filming the movie. This is, I don't know what day it is, but I know we've been doing like 16-hour days, and I've slept 7 hours in 3 days. And I went to New York yesterday to go do Watch What Happens Live. So
how was that?
It'll be on in a couple weeks. I can't say what day, but I will tell y'all and say it right before. And it's been crazy, but I'm happy. I'm happy with it. But yeah, thanks for asking. And please welcome Funky Dineva. What's up, Q?
What's going on, everybody? Happy spring break to the people. It's spring break. Ain't it for the people?
Is it?
Yeah. For the college, you know, you always know because Miami gets crazy during spring break. And then I think my homegirl told me her kids got out of school early. So it's about spring break time for the people.
Okay.
So
and
happy spring break.
You and Al are coordinated both in the all black everything tonight. Very nice, very nice.
With you in the middle, sandwiched in the middle in blue.
Well, I'm playing. I'm in prison in this movie, so I actually had like some prison gear on. I have the orange outfit. So from the waist down, I'm giving prison tease, fish, I guess you would say, right? All right, y'all. Let's get into the show now. Rasheem Carter has been trending recently on social media after he was found dead back in October of last year, and an independent autopsy found his head had been severed from his body. Now, the Mississippi man went missing in October after claiming he was being targeted by white men in his community. Carter's family believed that foul play was involved, and they're calling for a federal investigation. What are your thoughts on this horrific story, Al? Let's go to you first.
I find it insane. I mean, it's just disgusting. It's insane. The worst part about this is the police department issued a statement and said they don't think there's any foul play or wrongdoing. And I'm thinking, okay, if there's no foul play and there's no wrongdoing, how does his head get severed from his body? In several different ways, not just one piece, but like a 2 or 3 pieces. It gives me very much Mississippi, very much Emmett Till. And if you think about it, remember Mississippi, this happened in October, this young man's death. In September, the month prior to that, remember that guy that got put in jail for burning a cross in the black neighbor's yard? Like, Mississippi needs to get it together because this is unacceptable. And I hope to goodness that justice is served. So good thing that Attorney Crump has taken on this case.
All right. I hear you, Al. Q, what do you think?
You know, my sentiments echo Al's. Praise the Lord that we have social media. Praise the Lord that we have social justice warriors like Ben Crump, because for that police spokesperson, sheriff, captain, whomever he was, to stand up and initially say, we don't suspect any foul play, that's not what the evidence is pointing towards. Riddle me this. Why is random said black man's body found in the woods? Did he just crawl out there and just decide he didn't want to live anymore and die? Did he take a hatchet and swing it around and cut his own neck off in the woods in a suicide attempt? I mean, make it make sense. It'd be totally different if we found this man dead in his bed in his house, but the fact that we found him in the woods alone screams foul play. Then his head was cut off. I mean, who the hell did it? The headless horseman? Like, miss me with this. And I am glad that social media and people like Ben Crump have brought this situation to the light.
I'm gonna need the authorities, especially Mississippi, I've been on Mississippi's neck as of late, to quit playing in our faces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
There's been a lot of shady ass deaths and suspicious deaths of black men that been hung from trees, been tied to trees, been weapons found nowhere near them. How the hell are you going to shoot yourself? And then the gun just gets put someplace else. How are you going to be decapitated? And then they say, oh, your dog did it. Get the hell out of here. I feel like they don't take us seriously. And when I say us, I mean black people, to kind of give these kind of alibis and be so quick to say, oh, no, it was just this. Oh, it was just that. Like, nothing to be upset about. It's complete bullshit. And Yeah, thank God that we have people like Benjamin Crump
Mm-hmm.
and many others out there that are not going to let this thing die down. And social media, let's keep this thing going. You know, and I know it seems exhausting because so many of them are happening that we're like, oh, another one, we can't keep track. But that's what they want us to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. These people are not just dying, not killing themselves. You're not decapitating yourself. So miss me with that bullshit narrative.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, in selective outrage news, Whoopi Goldberg issued an apology for using the word gypped during an episode of The View. Take a look.
You know, when you're a certain age, you use words that you know from when you were a kid or you remember saying, and that's what I did today, and I shouldn't have. I should have thought about it a little longer before I said it, but I didn't.
Now, Whoopi used the word while discussing the Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels case, in which he said the people who still believe that he got, gypped somehow in the election will still believe that he cared enough. Apparently, the term is viewed as a slur because of its association with gypsies, the Romani people. What are your thoughts on this? Q, let's go to you first.
You know what? Had I been in Whoopi's position, I would have found myself in trouble. She says, I should have thought about what I said, but I'm curious to know if she even knew the origin of the word, because if I had to think about it up until you just read that, I did not know that it was a slur. I grew up hearing my mom and people say, I haven't said it since the late 80s, early 90s, but you gypped me out my money. I mean, it's a very common saying, especially in the hood. And it just makes me wonder how many other slang things that we say that may have some type of negative connotation that we just don't know about. And so, now that we've gotten into this place where we're super woke and we're super taking care of everybody's feelings, we've also got to get to a place where we're willing to extend super grace as we catch up, because Jip would have rolled off my tongue on a public platform, hell, this show, and I would have had no idea that it was offensive.
Exactly. It's a lot. Al, what do you think?
I mean, I agree with Q on this, but I will have to say, Claudia, for me, just, being in front of the camera, in this time that we've spent here, I really have had to learn the importance of the words that I use and how it comes across. I think we all have, right, in one form or another. And, this whole viewer censorship and them telling you when they feel offended, it actually works. So, I mean, I get that part. But for me, is it me, or is it does it feel like Whoopi's being iced off of the View or something? Because they're coming for her really hard these days. So I just want to know, is it me, or is there an undercurrent there? Because this woman has been on that show for so long. They're all of a certain age. They all say crazy stuff. They all use crazy terms to describe things. But why is she getting so much heat lately?
They absolutely are on her neck for every little thing now. Once again, I just always have to point out hypocrisy because I'm so sick of it. We just use two different measuring sticks. You know what I mean? Think about all the late night talk show hosts and the dialogue and things that they say. To me, it's not offensive. I think the woke police are taking the fun out of basic conversations. That is a word that we grew up using on the East Coast a lot. It was very common to say gyps. And guess what, people? Y'all could be mad because I'm still going to use it. I don't find it offensive. And I'm sick and tired of y'all making everything be a slur. You want to make every other word be like the N word. No, nothing is like the N word. It's almost like we can't have that. Like we can't have a word that's so offensive that none of y'all can say it. So like every faction of society has to come up with, well, that's like our N word. You can't say that. That's our N word. It's just like the N word. No, the hell it's not. And you are trying to gyp the conversation from fun and from just normalcy by taking all the words out. Before you know it, you guys, if we keep this up, it's gonna come to a point where we can't say anything. And I refuse to succumb to all of it. Some of the things I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm educated, I understand. But is gypsy a bad word? It's not. It describes a group of people. They used to call themselves gypsies as well. I don't know.
And if the word gyp describes some shit y'all used to do, okay, then what the hell, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like the gypsies got the most upstanding reputation. I mean, y'all was gypping people out their money, and that's how the word came about. I mean,
It's like we can't tell the truth anymore. Like, let's talk about what used to actually happen. And when I used to but when I used to visit Italy and go visit my family, it was very common knowledge. Of course, not all of them, of course, but it would happen. I was robbed on the train one time. Okay, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, it came from somewhere. And we want to go back and just like Ron DeSantis down in Florida, we want to erase the truth and the origin of some of these words because now it's offensive to you. But it came from a historical place. So please stop.
I just don't understand how we could be so outraged of this word gypsy, but we're not outraged with taking African American history out of the school curriculum. Like, what the hell is going on?
Here's the funny thing, though. Granted, I don't know nobody from the Romanian community. I don't think people are outraged. Was this like a call from S&P? I haven't seen no outrage on social media. I have not seen any videos of people saying, I'm a gypsy and I'm offended. I think this was preemptive. So I don't think anyone's outraged.
L. Caldwell in the chat says, Claudia, it's deeper than that. Yes, gypsy is not the word to use. Use Romani. Let's be very clear here, okay? No one is calling the Romanian people gyps or gypsies.
Right.
We are not calling the entire population of Romania gypsies, but there were gypsies that traveled, that were nomadic in nature and went around. That is not calling, I'm not calling y'all that. And the word gyps, most people don't think about the origin of the word when they use that because it became common. It became part of, our dialogue. So again, saying that word does not mean we're talking about the Romanian people, everybody. I don't know, man. This is something that
I don't think people knew where it came from.
I think you're right. I agree. But yeah, we're not being offensive to the people of Romania. All right, y'all. A New York couple is suing a Korean restaurant in Manhattan after discovering what appears to be a rat in their soup. In the lawsuit, the couple claims they became disgusted and violently sick after noticing the rodent and sought medical attention. Although the Korean restaurant has denied those claims, the health department inspectors decided to shut down the business after conducting a surprise inspection and finding rat droppings inside of the restaurant. Al, are you surprised?
Rat droppings in a New York City restaurant? Not at all. I was surprised, though, that this particular restaurant had 67 code violations when there was a surprise inspection, and that is what led to them being shut down on March 15th. The other part of this story, which is interesting, was this couple is very familiar with this restaurant, have been going there for more than 10 years, only to find, this particular time, a rat was in their soup.
Man, I'm so sick of this nastiness. I remember me and KJ went to an Indian restaurant one time, and a rat crawled right up his leg, and the lady didn't take nothing off our bill. Okay, Q, what you think about this? Rats?
I'm not buying this shit. I think them people put their rat in there. I do. Like, it's just, I think them people put their rat. I think them people put that rat in that damn styrofoam. There's no way in hell you gonna tell me somebody using a ladle scoop out some soup and didn't see that full-size damn rat. And then the rat had to be contorted to fit into that damn styrofoam cup. And then you also had to look at the cup again to put the damn lid on it. There were just too many checkpoints throughout the thing. When you scoop soup, the first thing you do is stir it up, then you scoop it up like this, then you take the cup, then you dump it, then you scoop it. That's just too much processing of that soup for you not to notice a big ass damn rat was in there. I can't prove it, but I think.
Do we have a picture? Do we have a picture?
I can look at it. Production, put that picture back up again.
Now, the
big ass damn rat.
The soup was half eaten before they saw that rat.
Yes, but it was half eaten because they had to pull something out to fit the rat in there. Okay. Now,
so Q, you think that they brought their own rat from home and let me make a viral moment, maybe?
Well, did they eat the soup at the restaurant or they ate it at home?
At their house.
Okay.
They ate it at their house. Well, no, they didn't bring it. They got that rat out their house. Nasty. They got it.
And y'all are right. There was an awful lot of the soup that appeared to be
That's
missing.
what I'm saying. That's 'cause they had to pull some off the top or eat some off to get that rat in there. You see the way that rat head was sticking up, baby? When you open it, the way that bitch, when you if that rat was in there when they took that lid off. Them people wanted some lawsuit money. And I ain't mad with them because rent high as hell. I ain't mad with them. And they struck gold because if you go to any New York City restaurant, you're gonna find 63 violations in the damn kitchen. Oh, God. Okay. But no, they put that rat in there.
All right. I think you might have a point there. All right. Coming up next, a woman arrested for making false rape claims, and later Diplo's take on oral sex with both genders. I'm really curious to hear what y'all have to say about this. Stay close. We'll be right back. All right. Welcome back to TGIF. If you're enjoying the show on this fine Friday, throw some flames up in the chat. No, what? No. Throw some rats in the chat for us one time. All right, y'all. A woman who falsely claims she was raped by multiple men and trafficked by an Asian grooming gang has been jailed for 8.5 years. Eleanor Williams, oh wow, it's still named girls Eleanor Williams, sparked outrage on social media after posting photos of her injuries that she alleged from the beatings. But after an investigation, local officials learned that she inflicted the wounds upon herself using a hammer. Q, let's go to you first. What are your thoughts on this crazy story? She's very much giving a thin line between love and hate when Lynn
Whitfield took them oranges, but at least she had sense enough to use oranges. I'm gonna tell y'all something. We always speak about these cameras and stuff, making false reports to the police, and I am so glad that none of these men got in trouble, served any type of jail time, got their lives disrupted, from my understanding. I think she needs to be in a mental institution now. I mean, to hit your, and not even because of what she did, to hit your own damn self with a hammer, like that's crazy as hell. Like I don't even have enough whatever to slap my own self bare-fisted, you know what I'm saying, my bare head. To hit your own self with a hammer, if that's not certifiable crazy, I don't know what is. So I think that she needs to go into a mental institution and not prison, despite the fact that she could have messed up those people's lives. I'm in a grace showing mood tonight, and I think she should go to a mental institution.
Are you not drinking tonight?
I'm not.
Okay.
Not me, Q. I think this woman should go underneath the jail. In fact, she should be given more time, because you got to remember, one of the guys that she accused was upstanding citizen in the community, and he thought about committing suicide. He literally thought that his life was so bad because of these accusations that he thought about committing suicide. On top of that, I don't think this story is getting enough national attention. And I'm glad we're discussing it on TGIF, because this story needs to be plastered all over, everywhere, to serve as an example to all women, all the women in the world who falsely accuse men of color of doing crimes like this. It's disgusting. I think she should get more time, Q, and should not be given an out of going to a mental facility.
I think the Karen Act needs to be passed. I know Q has talked about this several times. I mean, what happened to these women? I mean, well, this time we got justice, right? But all too often this happens, and a lot of times. Okay. A lot of times this happens and we don't really get justice. So I'm glad this is happening. But to both of your points, I think being a Karen, period, is a mental illness, because to sit there and blame someone that did nothing to you and pin it on a community, a nationality, a race, and really stick to your guns and talk to the authorities and really have people thinking that it really happened to you, it is a mental illness. But I still think your ass should go to jail, because you are all here wreaking havoc. You're a menace to society. And I'm so sick of these Karens. We need you know what? I would like to have a Karen on the show. Like, I would like to interview a Karen and I get into the mentality, like, what makes you do what you do? Why? I would love to have that. If you're a Karen out there in the universe and you'd like to come on TGIF, please email me at ClaudiaJordan7@AOL. I would love to talk to you and have you on the show if you are about that life and want to explain why y'all do this. All right, y'all. In another case of selective outrage, Lil Nas X issued an apology to the transgender community after he was accused of sharing a now deleted photo that mocked transitioning. Now, after receiving backlash, Lil Nas X clapped back and wrote, I'm literally just saying she looks like me. Y'all cannot be serious. Lil Nas X eventually apologized and tweeted, apologies to the trans community. I definitely handled the situation with anger instead of considering why it was not cool. Take it away, Funky.
So you know what? I'm going to be very honest. This particular story is another one like the Gypsy story, right? Where I could easily see myself making the same mistake. You know, for those who don't know, Lil Nas X found a picture of somebody that favored him and said, you know, this is me, I'm transitioning, and it caught some heat. We're learning. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing that I can say. We're learning. And I think when it comes to offending people, the offense is not really what you unintentionally say or do. I think it really becomes offensive when somebody points out the offense and then you double down or don't at least attempt to take a moment to see where the person is coming from. Now, for me, on the surface, my gut response would have been the same as Lil Nas X. Simmer the hell down. It's not that serious. I was just making a joke. But if somebody tells me that it hurts them, I owe it to them to at least step back and try to see it from their perspective. And so he circled back around and said, I'm sorry for anybody that I offended. But again, it's one of those things where this is very new to us, the understanding of it all. And grace has got to be given while we learn what's appropriate and what's not.
Let me ask you something. Did the person look like him?
It did. Yes, the person did. Yes.
So really, so everybody is okay. I'm going to take the trans community out of this. It's not just about the trans community. I feel like even things that are based on truth, someone can find it offensive, right? Like, it's like we are looking for a reason to be pissed off and be mad and be offended and be hurt. He's saying the person looked like him. How bad could he have been? Al, what do you think about this story?
I loved it. Q, he didn't say simmer down. He told the person to eat his ass. That were his exact words, right?
Oh, well, there you go.
That's what he said. That's a quote.
Simmer down.
That translates to simmer down. No, he told the person, like, look, listen. Lil Nas X has tackled so many difficult conversations as it relates to sexuality in the United States. Give the man some freaking grace. I thought it was funny. I wasn't offended. We got other things in our community relating to trans that we need to focus on. Let's talk about the 400 bills that are in legislation, which is trying to take away your basic rights as transgender individuals, taking away your health care. What else? They don't even view you as human.
Right to marry.
You need to right to marry. I think you need to be tweeting and upset about the legislation in the states that you live in that are doing this, instead of attacking someone who has taken on so many issues and done them in such a prideful way for our community. I just think the outrage in this case doesn't hit as close and as significant as this person or whoever's being offended.
And might I add, once again, it's the peanut gallery getting more pissed off than the actual person involved, because I hear that she was actually happy that he reposted it and she retweeted it and said that we overreacted. Right. So, a big star like Lil Nas X reposted that and said that you look like them and she's probably a fan. She wasn't as mad as the peanut gallery and the people on the sidelines that it had nothing to do with. So once again, people are ready on go to be mad about something, and the person involved wasn't even mad. All right, y'all. Staffers at a restaurant in Pennsylvania quit after the manager added cocktails called the Caucasian, or the Redneck Russian, and the Negro. The staff at Mela Kitchen at Jack's Hard Cider made formal complaints to management that if the names were not changed, then the staff would walk. The manager retaliated by firing staff members and telling others to seek employment elsewhere if they had a problem with his menu. What are your thoughts on the story, Al?
This is sad. It's ignorant. He's an asshole. He's racist. He's culturally tone deaf. He's inappropriate. And let me tell you something. When I first saw the story, I had to go Google this particular restaurant. And guys, this restaurant is not one of those hillbilly restaurants. It's a very nice restaurant with really great food and drinks. It's sad to me, though, that this type of behavior is still allowed in the United States in the 2023. It's just ridiculous to me. And I feel like there should be some type of board or something to fine him for, that mockery that he's doing on his menu.
Another white man, right?
Yes.
Like I told y'all last week, white men, some, the ones that are like playing these stupid games, seem to have a hard on for black outrage. And then they threw in the Caucasian drink to kind of like, oh, well, it wasn't just singling out one. You know what you're going to do. You know the climate that we're in right now. You know the times that we're in. You know how sensitive we are. You know what's happening in our world and where we are as a nation, how divided we are. So for you to do this bullshit and play in our faces and act like, well, I did a white one too. So no, you tried it and we clocked it. Q, what you think about this?
I mean, honestly, you and Al summed it up perfectly. I don't have the emotional energy to even entertain something like this. When a grown-ass man, let me tell you something, you have to be a very smart person to open a successful business like this and grow it to this level. If you're smart enough to do that, you're smart enough to know better. And so, you did it for shits and giggles or to upset people. And I mean, I guess you got what you wanted, but you get nothing from me.
Mm.
Aren't you people tired of this? Like, this isn't old. Y'all been doing it for 400 some years. Like, it ain't played to y'all.
Right.
No, they're bored. They can no longer, they understand, Claudia, that they're
still no repercussions.
Not even still no repercussions. They understand that their outward bigotry and their suppression of people and their oppression of people, those days truly are beginning to come to an end, right? So now we're just going to annoy you. You know what I'm saying? Now we're just going to annoy you because annoying you, there's no crime in annoying you. There's no crime in mocking you. You can't stop somebody from mocking you or annoying you. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess they just figured that's what they're going to do because they're powerless in oppressing us in so many other places.
And then they accomplished what they wanted, their objective. We're talking about it. And I guess who's going to flock there and order the Negro? Mm-hmm. Who's going to flock there and order these drinks and say it loudly?
Right. They're, the people who share their ideologies.
That's right. Oh, man, when will the hard-on go down for us? All right, coming up next, Diplo. Oh, speaking of hard-ons, coming up next, Diplo shares his views on oral sex from both genders. And later on, how karma led to the death of an alleged car thief. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to TGIF. All right, y'all. Diplo recently confessed that he's received oral sex from both women and men. The DJ said, I don't know if it's gay unless you make eye contact while there's the blowjob happening. Do y'all agree with this? Is it only gay if you make eye contact? Whoever wants to go first and take this thing head on, please do.
Not head on, Claudia.
I'm just sitting there laughing. I know so many of the women that are watching this show be like, hell yeah, it's gay. But so many of y'all husbands and boyfriends don't got their ding-a-ling sucked by boys. Boys do it better. Men know what men like. A lot of them be like, not me. Trust me, them college days, those exploratory days, they don't got their thing sucked. Does it make it gay? No, it makes it fluid. I mean, we have got to create a space where people are allowed to play around and explore without it being labeled one thing or another. You know what I'm saying? 70% of y'all females watching let y'all boyfriends take y'all to these strip clubs and y'all turn into borderline lesbians just to keep the nose of that. Let these girls munch on y'all coochie and stuff, knowing damn well that ain't what y'all really want to do, but y'all do it. Do that make y'all lesbians?
I'm going to have to jump in here and say, if you sit here and say if women go to the strip club and 70% of them are now lesbians because they get a lap dance, but having a dick of a man in your mouth.
No, I'm not saying a lap dance. I'm saying all these women out there who sign up for these threesomes just in order to keep their man and let these strippers come home with them and eat their coochie and they eat keep the man. Do that make y'all because that shit is widely popular.
Or kissing on the dance floor. Kissing. You see women kissing on the dance floor all the time. Does that
a lot of these girls going around having threesomes and stuff with other women? They don't be wanting to do that shit for real. They just be doing it to keep the no good ass nigga. No. So do it make y'all gay? All the ones that don't ate coochie and got their coochie ate, do it make you gay?
Yes, it does. And I'm going to sit here and say this. Y'all be so prideful at those parades with the rainbows and your little thongs on and your little Versace underwear on the front of a boat. And gay this. I'm attacking you because you attack y'all attack heterosexual women. And I say, if you have a sexual act with some of the opposite sex, why do you not want you to take on the label? If you felt good about doing it, why is it such a bad thing to put that on you?
It's not, but just because you drive a truck one time doesn't make you a truck driver.
Right. So okay,
sexuality,
Claudia, let's break it down to that analogy then, right? So these men in prison that have relations with other men in prison, does that make them all gay?
Yes.
Really? No, that's
Claudia, come on.
You're not. It don't count.
Claudia, you are not that. No, you are not. You can't
not that
you're limited in your thinking about sexuality. You're a very sexual woman. You've been sexualized a large portion of your life. You understand it? No?
What do you mean I've been sexualized a large portion of my life?
We've looked up to you, Claudia Jordan, for 30 years as a
No, you haven't. Listen, but why don't y'all want to
videos, for heaven's sake? You were in
why don't people want to stand in their truth? If a man and another man are together, that is homosexual. That is a homosexual act and homosexual behavior. Why do you not want to take that on?
No. Define the word homosexual. Not a bad word. Homosexual means you're only into one sex. Homosexual. That means you only mess with dudes. That's incorrect.
How many times before you're gay? Is it 10 times? Is it 20 times? Or is it only did it 3 times, so I'm not gay? Like, it's a slippery slope, y'all.
I love this conversation. And I like the fact that Diplo actually brought this. I looked at the comments, and let me tell you, the comments on the white publications compared to the comments on the black publications was very worlds apart on this topic. And I thought, wow, how, and then to hear Claudia say that, it makes sense to me now, because in the black community, y'all remember that episode on Insecure? I think they were in Vegas at a convention, and it was 4 black women, and they were like, one of them said that she would date a bisexual white man, but she would never date a bisexual black man. Do y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm. No, I never saw that.
That was insane. That conversation created such a uproar in their comments, and it's just baffles me that because you experiment or because you had one experience with the same sex, you then have to take on a label. I just don't get it.
But what is wrong with the label? What's wrong?
Obviously, look at how you're treated.
But I'm saying, in some
industries,
I don't see anything wrong with the label. So I'm like, if you do that, like, that's what you like. What is wrong with it?
In a perfect world, nothing would be wrong with the label. But we're not going to sit up here and pretend like the greater black community does not place a devaluation on being gay or bisexual.
Right.
The heterosexual community uses gay as the minute you want to cut somebody down. Oh, he's gay. Oh, that's gay. Oh, he's a fag. You see what I'm saying? So yes, in a perfect world, we all be equal, but socially standing, we're not.
So because
in certain professions,
you're considered less than.
Right. In certain professions, like the professional sports, look, that we can't have a individual live in their truth because they'll lose their contracts. Look in the acting industry and entertainment industry. It's a thin line that you walk in living in your truth about your sexuality, because you are afraid of the repercussions for walking and living in your truth, because it could end your career and your ability to feed your family.
So let's just say that. Because if you are, in fact, living in your truth, then the truth is you are engaged in a homosexual act, whether it's 1 time or 1,000 times. I'm giving my opinion as a heterosexual woman who's never had a lesbian experience or same-sex experience, not even 1 time. Okay, so I'm just telling you what I feel like, and as y'all can talk about what the homosexual label is or the gay word means to you, the word gay means to you, I can speak on heterosexuality, and people can say it's stupid or it's not, but I actually have a right as a heterosexual person to have my feelings. And I I feel like this is part of a greater conversation that we don't really have time for. But you're right. They do. The Black community especially is very hostile and has been in the past, especially. And it's getting better, but it's still there, especially the church. I understand that, right? But is that why? Maybe that's the reason why we don't want to take on that label, even if it's 1 or 2 or 3 times.
Okay, now watch this. And this is a final point. The great Toni Morrison has taught us that if you turn a glove inside out, it must still be a glove, right? So with that being said, I've had heterosexual sex before. Does that make me heterosexual?
Oh.
I don't. No, it doesn't.
Okay, then if it doesn't make me heterosexual, if you turn a glove inside out, it still has to be a glove, baby. So
but you're comparing human beings and behavior with
but I'm saying, so why is it if he has gay sex one time, it makes him gay?
All of a sudden,
but if I have heterosexual sex
one time, you can't be heterosexual.
Guys, I've had heterosexual sex.
So what do you call it? And how many times? Give me the rules. How many times does it take before you consider someone gay? In your opinion?
Hold on, because you're moving the goalposts now. You're moving. No,
I'm not. I asked you that earlier.
Okay, I don't know, but I don't know, Claudia. I mean, if somebody does it frequently, then we can say they're bi. But you're trying to drive home the point.
Yeah, you're trying to say anybody that does it is gay, and that's not.
All this standing in my truth and living my truth, and then we don't want to live in our truth.
I just feel like that's inappropriate. You have guys out here that have same sex for work. You know, they're not gay. They have sex to feed their families. You have guys out here that strip at gay clubs and let men rub on them. They're not gay. They're doing that to support their families. And like I said, there are a number of men that are incarcerated that may find themselves in a same-sex situation. They 110% are not gay.
I just don't understand, if you do it, then why is it offensive when someone says, okay, that's what you are? Why is it offensive?
Because it may not be, they're being mislabeled. That's not what they are. That's what you're calling them, but that's not what they are.
So I'm wrong if I call a man that had sex with another man 4 times gay. Is that offensive? Because I want to make sure that I got it right. Seriously.
It could be. If that's not how that person identifies. Yeah,
okay, so if I eat coochie 3 times and y'all call me a lesbian, I'm gonna say I'm offended because you're misidentifying me.
But Claudia, again, what I want you to understand is I've eaten it 27 times. And does it make me straight?
Are you straight? Are you attracted to women?
Yes.
You are attracted. Funky Daniva in a woman. You're attracted to women too.
We'll talk about it over
this. Seems like sexuality shaming here.
Oh my God, it is what you are. No.
Sometimes it's not that cut and dry.
All right, let me go to the chat. There's people in the chat that have something. They said, okay, Terrio says dip. And I'm glad we had this converssion because I think a lot of people feel the way I feel.
Read some good chat comments. Come on, let's go.
And a lot of people feel the way y'all feel. Okay, so someone said, Terry Vio says, Diplo never said he was gay. And then Candace says, Funky, you had Tootsie Cat? And
I had some last week. With a husband and a wife.
And then
while you were unlocking your better self.
Azealia21 says Claudia being gay is about a romantic connection, not simply about sex. And Ty McCoy says Claudia need to see a therapist. And Monique Cobb says Claudia, you're right. And this, the comments are all over the place. People saying from wrong to ignorant to yes to no. So this is something that we'll never accomplish. Yeah, we are.
I love the discussion.
And I think,
but just for the record, me and Al are more qualified to say who is gay than you. Okay?
You're right. You're right.
Tell him, Q.
You're right, and I am more qualified to say who's heterosexual.
All right, I just want to know: am I heterosexual?
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
The gays don't own the narrative on sexuality, and y'all have to stop that.
We own it on gay.
You're not the authority on all things sexuality.
On gay, I'm the gatekeeper.
Okay, well, then I have the gatekeeper. Then I run the heterosexual thing.
That's fine. You can have. Don't nobody want to be y'all bored ass straight.
Are you gay or you straight? Goddammit, because you're all over the place.
I like to be in relationship with men, but I will screw women.
Okay. There you have it. He's greedy. That's what you are.
You're what greedy. He is.
Okay. All right. Coming up next, how sticky fingers cause a man to be crushed by a car. And later, Megan Good claps back out a troll. Keep it locked. Oh my God. Welcome back to TGIF. When y'all get a chance, go back and look at the chat. They have very strong opinions about that conversation. You think they just like when we argue?
Probably so. I think they like when Q get us together.
Hey, listen, we have a conversation here that I think a lot of people would have if they had people that could be this open about their real feelings and not really care about hurting feelings. Like we're talking about what we really feel.
Well, too, what I enjoy about our conversations is that we have them the way they legitimately would happen at a party. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not like fact laden and it's we have them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and it gets heated, but it's all love. And hopefully our conversations help you and your family members and friends out, and at least make you smile.
I always wonder if we were ever in a studio, would we put hands on each other?
Not now, but maybe in the past.
Not me, girl. And when I say that, I'm saying I don't get my ass whooped. So
everybody can get it. All right, y'all. Hey, a man was crushed to death while allegedly attempting to steal a catalytic converter from a vehicle at a Savannah, Georgia car lot. The officers on the scene said the evidence indicates the man was killed while he was illegally removing the converter from the vehicle, which resulted in the vehicle falling on top of him. Q, how crazy this story. I'm actually surprised it didn't happen in Florida.
Child, well, listen, I just hope his mama got enough money for the funeral and to buy the chicken for the repast. I don't feel no ways tied. I'm not going to say his ass deserved it, but I don't give a damn. That's what you listen. You can't do wrong and then expect people to do slow singing and flower bringing. You didn't have no business going up under somebody's car. People need their damn car to get to work. Okay, I had an old nasty Nissan Altima. My catalytic converter went out one time and I couldn't even pass emissions to get my tag to get to work, okay? And I didn't have enough money to get another catalytic converter. People need their car to get to work as high as rent and stuff is. We supposed to give a damn that your ass got crushed with that catalytic converter. I hope you had enough time to repent and get your life together with God before you took your last breath, you old thieving bastard.
All right. Al, what do you think about this, sir? Do you feel bad for this guy or not?
I do. But, one thing that we know, at least in the state of Florida, since living here, the catalytic converter is a widespread problem. People stealing them is a widespread problem here in California. In addition, we got to understand why he's stealing the Q. The catalytic converter contains platinum, and it also contains rhodium. And, rhodium is $14,000 an ounce these days. So by him stealing that, he can then flip that $4,000 or so.
I remember I had a place in Arizona. They broke into the house and they took from outside, they took the copper out of the air conditioning unit. And I'm like, I would never think that.
Yeah.
Because you don't smoke crack, Claudia. And you can go to the bank and leverage your credit and get a loan, not a scrap shop.
But if I smoked crack one time, would I be a crackhead?
No.
According to you, you would.
According to your logic.
According to your analogy, you would.
I almost spilled some of my own tea, but this ain't intervention.
Well, you didn't hit the crack pipe.
I ain't a crackhead, no bitch.
No wonder why you were so defensive about that conversation.
Right. Okay, we probably need to keep going.
I ain't never smoked that stuff.
That didn't sound that convincing, Al, did it?
Not me, girl.
We're going to leave you alone. We don't have enough conversation tonight.
Right.
Now, if you do it twice, you a crackhead.
Right. If you do it twice. Okay.
Let's make the gay number 5 and the crack number 3. How about that? Are we good?
I fit the criteria in there, bitch. I'm good.
And the lesbian number can be 5. All right. Convicted felon Joe Exotic recently announced that he's entering the race for president of the United States. Joe is... Man, white men are so bold. They don't let nothing stop their dreams, do they?
No.
All right. He's currently serving a 21-year prison sentence following conviction in 2019 on multiple charges. But that ain't going to stop him because that privilege is still happening even in jail. What are your thoughts on this insane, hideous news? Al, let's go to you first. Joe Exotic for president?
Listen, hell no. But this is an interesting conversation here. The question is, can a prisoner run for president? That's the question, right? I think we talked about this, Claudia, briefly on the show. If Donald Trump was put in prison, could he, in fact, run for president? And the answer is yes. We know in 1920, Eugene Dobbs did it. We know in 1988, Lyndon LaRoche did it. You can actually be in prison and run for president, because there's only 3 rules to run for presidency, right? Once you submit your paperwork, you have to be a natural born U.S. citizen. You have to be at least 35. And you have to be a resident of the United States for only 14 years. Those are the basic requirements to be president. Did you know that if President Trump got convicted and had to go to jail, he could actually run for president, win, and give himself a pardon to get out of jail and be the president of the United States?
I thought you could be a felon, though. Is that not true?
Hey, I'm just telling you what is reported. We've had 2 individuals run for presidency from jail, from prison. I just gave you the names of them in 1920 and 1988. And this individual, his application was accepted and approved.
Q, what you think about this? Joe Exotic?
Not what I think, what I know. I am reading a direct message that I got from Joe Exotica. I don't know if he got a phone in prison or what, but this is from his account with the blue check. At 6:26 p.m. on March 9th, I got a DM from him that said, hey, can I add you to my campaign site as a supporter and put one of your videos to give you advertisement? Please email joeexotica2024.com. Or there's a website. I got a DM from.
Was yours Joe Exotic or Joe Exotica?
Exotic. I'm sorry. Joe Exotic. It's with the blue check. It's from his verified.
Joe Exotic. That's the same person. You know.
Yeah. No, Joe Exotic. I got it right here.
Isn't he also gay? He's gay, right? He's come out as gay.
Hold up. How many times have he had gay sex now?
Well, he was having it with he had it a whole lot. He was married to the man on the show.
Okay, with the guy that did meth.
Whatever. He had it a whole bunch of times.
Okay, I did look it up, and a convicted felon can, in fact, run for president. They just can't vote, which is wild.
I told you that 5 minutes ago.
So I had to double check out. Sometimes facts don't be facting, okay? You be messing up sometimes.
Don't be hating on me. Don't be hating on me.
I'm just hating on Google sometimes, or Wikipedia. Hey, listen, imagine this, Al. Joe Exotic somehow finds his way out of prison, right? Runs for president. Funky, our very own Funky.
Be the vice president?
Vice president of the United States. And on a split team. Can you imagine?
Look, I'm gonna climb the walls.
This country would be so fun.
Ooh, I can't imagine that. All right, y'all, that is definitely a time. Okay. Hey, Sherry Shepherd revealed that serving time in jail prepared her for success. Sherry said another inmate told her Sherry is going to be a somebody. Sherry added, I never thought that for myself, so I just knew that something was going to happen. Sherry served 8 days for owing $10,000 in unpaid moving violations in the early 90s. What are your thoughts on Sherry's story? And have you ever received encouragement from an inmate? Al, let's go to you first. I didn't know this.
No, I've never received encouragement from an inmate. But let me tell you,
I actually think we should tease and then come back to Sherry Shepherd after this next commercial.
Welcome back to TGIF. All right, we're going to try to get through this real quick. Sherry Shepherd revealed that serving time in jail prepared her for success. She said another inmate told her Sherry is going to be somebody. Sherry added, I never thought that for myself, so I just knew that something was going to happen. Sherry served 8 days for owing $10,000 in unpaid moving violations in the early 90s. What are your thoughts on Sherry's story, Al? And have you ever received encouragement from an inmate? What do you think about the story?
No encouragement from inmates, but let me tell you something. This is why we love Sherry Shepherd. She's always so transparent and honest. She talks about her sex life. She talks about stuff like this. We really love this about Sherry. My only question, though, Sherry, is how in the hell do you amass $10,000 in moving violations?
Not paying them all.
But you have to do a lot of violating to get $10,000 worth of moving violations. Anyway.
But you know, they go up so fast, they multiply. And, you know, if you wait like 60 days or 90 days, they do be kind of tripping sometimes. I will say that.
Some tell me she just be pulling up to her auditions and leaving the car wherever she landed.
Sherry, I'm glad you worked it out and you are where you are now, despite serving your time. Hey, Megan Good respectfully clapped back at a fan who insinuated that she left God after her divorce from her ex-husband, Devon Franklin. The fan wrote, Jesus loves you, Megan. The world will pass and fame too. Come back to God and your hubby. Megan replied, I would never leave God, and I also didn't leave my husband. Be blessed. What are your thoughts on trolls coming from Megan like that, like thinking they know her story all up in her business like that? And to say come back to God is very presumptuous and I think very rude. Q, what do you think?
The more offensive part to me was the come back to your husband part. And obviously it was offensive to her too, because that's why she clapped back at that part in particular, letting it be known, baby girl, I'm not the one that left. So it sounded like she was saying, you know, for your record, he's the one that ended the marriage. That's what I'm picking up from the story.
Okay. Al, what do you think real quick?
Listen, in my eye, Megan got the best last name, and that is good because she can't do no wrong in my world. Sorry.
That's right. You know what? I don't like that people always seem to come for her. Like, you don't know what happened in their relationship. You don't know why they broke up. And of course, people want to come for the one that's the Hollywood girl. And though he's Hollywood too, and she's very sexy. So leave Megan Good alone. And Devon Franklin. I think that two good people just didn't work out. That doesn't mean that anyone was at fault or bad.
We saw them at the brunch, remember, Claudia?
Yeah. Yeah. And she was very sweet. Promptum, can you move up, please? All right. I want to thank my co-hosts, Al Reynolds and Funky Dineva, for being here. Thank you so much for watching us on YouTube. We had a really fun show tonight and a really fun conversation. Stay tuned for Tracks and Tales. And make sure you tune into the 9th Annual Truth Awards tomorrow on Fox Soul at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. We will see y'all next week. Fellas, we got like 30 seconds left. What y'all doing for the weekend? Anything fun?
Baby, I'm gonna try to unlock my better self and close my legs. Keep my legs closed this weekend. I got some sheets. I'm just gonna lay and cook and watch old episodes of Little House on the Prairie.
Okay, and Al?
Hey, I think this is the one weekend I have nothing to do. I'm gonna sleep.
I'm gonna finish this movie in Atlanta, then I finish moving on Monday, and I might be in Florida this week. Anyways, good times with you guys as always. Love to hang with y'all. I'll see y'all soon in person. Hey, y'all have a good weekend. Bye, soulmates.
Right,
Bye, soulmates.
Bye, soulmates.